Have you ever had a moment where one small thing ruined your entire day? A single comment from someone, a small failure, a message you didn't receive, a mistake you kept replaying in your mind, and suddenly your peace disappeared. You were not fighting the world anymore. You were fighting something inside yourself. Most people spend their entire lives trying to control everything around them. They try to control people, situations, outcomes, and even the future. But they never learn to control the one thing that decides how they experience life: their own emotions. Because the person who cannot control their emotions will always be controlled by something else. A bad memory, painful word, a moment of rejection, a fear that never happened. This is the story of a man named Daniel, who learned that real power was never about controlling life. It was about controlling himself. Daniel was the kind of person who looked completely fine from the outside. He smiled. He helped others. He showed up every day. But inside, he was exhausted. His mind never stopped. Every conversation stayed with him for hours. If someone spoke to him differently, he wondered what he did wrong. If something went badly, he blamed himself. If someone criticized him, he carried those words longer than he carried his own dreams. The strange thing was, Daniel was not weak. He was actually hardworking. He had goals. He had potential. But his emotions were always louder than his confidence. One angry moment could destroy a week of progress. One disappointment could make him question everything. At night, when the world became quiet, his thoughts became the loudest. He would stare at the ceiling and ask himself, "Why do I let everything affect me so deeply? Why can one moment take away all my happiness?" And the hardest part was not feeling emotions. The hardest part was feeling like he had no control over them. Daniel started noticing a pattern. Whenever life became uncomfortable, he reacted immediately. Someone annoyed him, and he responded with anger. Something scared him, and he avoided it. Something hurt him, and he closed himself off. He thought reacting was honesty. He thought showing every emotion meant he was being real. But slowly, he began to understand something painful. Not every feeling deserves a reaction. One day, Daniel had an argument with someone close to him. The words became sharper. The emotions became heavier. And before he knew it, he said things he never truly meant. The room became silent. And in that silence, Daniel felt something he had never felt before. Not anger, not frustration, regret. Because he realized his emotions were not protecting him. They were making him lose the very things he cared about. That night, he sat alone and looked at his reflection. For the first time, he asked himself a different question. What if my emotions are not my enemy? What if they are just trying to tell me something? That thought changed everything. A few days later, Daniel met an older man named Samuel. Samuel was different. Life had clearly tested him. You could see it in his eyes. But somehow he was calm. Not because he had an easy life, because he had learned how to carry a difficult one. Daniel asked him, "How do you stay so peaceful when everything goes wrong?" Samuel smiled and said, "Because I stopped giving every emotion permission to control my actions." Those words stayed with Daniel. Samuel explained something Daniel had never understood. You cannot always choose what you feel, but you can choose what you do next. That was the lesson. Peace was not the absence of anger. Peace was the space between the emotion and the reaction. The moment where you decide who you want to be. Daniel realized he had spent years trying to remove negative emotions. But maybe the goal was never to remove them. Maybe the goal was to understand them. Slowly, Daniel started practicing something new. When anger appeared, he stopped and listened. When fear appeared, he questioned it. When sadness arrived, he allowed himself to feel it without letting it define him. He stopped saying, "I am angry," and started saying, "I am feeling anger right now." A small change in words, but a massive change in power. Because he was no longer becoming the emotion. He was observing it. Months passed. People around Daniel noticed something different. The same problems existed. The same challenges came. But Daniel was different. person could insult him and he didn't immediately break. A situation could go wrong and he didn't immediately panic. He finally understood something powerful. The strongest people are not those who never feel pain. They are the ones who feel everything and still choose their response. Life will always give you moments that test your patience. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Unexpected things will happen. You cannot control every storm that enters your life, but you can learn how to stand in the middle of it without losing yourself. Your emotions are messages. They are not your masters. The moment you stop letting every feeling control your next move, something inside you changes. You become calmer. You become stronger. You become free. Because the greatest victory is not winning against other people. It is winning against the version of yourself that once reacted without thinking. So the next time anger rises, the next time fear appears, the next time life feels too heavy, remember this: you do not need to control the whole world to find peace. You only need to master the one place where your peace truly begins: yourself.